Hello, the nerds. I hope you guys have had a fantastic July. My July saw me bouncing all over the North Island of Auckland, but I didn't want to miss the chance to sit down and talk a little bit about one of Carol Churchill's newest plays, Love and Information. So with that, I'm going to launch us into July's Playing with Flashcards with Love and Information by Carol Churchill. The Guardian, which is a British publication, had this to say about the play. They said that Love and Information is a humanist document. It premiered at the Royal Court Theatre in 2012. It has 57 scenes, runs 110 minutes, and uses 16 actors to play over 100 characters. The structure and the dialogue is, as is the case with most Churchill plays, very non-traditional. And I would say that the play explores more of a point that Churchill is trying to make, or a question that she's trying to ask, than it does any kind of plot. From London, the play transferred to the New York Theatre Workshop, and it received mostly positive reviews. It only had a couple of negative criticisms. The script was printed before the workshop was finished, so if you've had a chance to see this on stage, or you're going to have a chance to see this on stage, what you see may be different from what I was able to read in the script. I want to talk a little bit about Carol Churchill. She is one of my favorite playwrights. She has a very interesting career that has spanned since the 70s all the way into most recently. I think she's got 2 plays right now, Love and Information, and another one that I'm losing the title of that's currently running. I believe it's currently running on the West End. She is cited to be one of the most celebrated and important female playwrights of the English-speaking world. She was born in London. She grew up in Montreal, Canada, and then she returned to England to attend uni. There she met her husband, had 3 boys, and began her writing career for the BBC Radio and also for television. I've always personally found her life to be kind of a contrast to the kind of things that she writes. Here's this woman who got married at a younger age, who had 3 children with a man that she's still married to this day, and she mostly stayed at home to raise them, which is where writing started happening for her. It was something that she did as a stay-at-home mom, and obviously she does it very well. Her work is known for its non-naturalism. She definitely has a feminist bent, and she likes to explore themes that deal with the abuse of power and of sexual politics. When you hear about Churchill, and from a little bit that I've been able to read that she's written about herself or said about herself, she is definitely influenced by Brecht's epic theater, as well as Artaud's theater of cruelty. Her work is generally labeled as postmodern because it does tend to have fragmented dialogue, fragmented scenes, and it does occasionally employ things like modern dance or dance theater. Just a little bit more about Churchill. Her first stage play is noted to be Owners. It was written in 1972. Other works that are notable of hers are Cloud 9, which was my introduction to Churchill, as well as Top Girls, which I was lucky enough to get to play the character of Marlene as my final role in grad school. She also is known for Serious Monkeys, The Striker, which I've also seen and was fantastic, Far Away, Blue Heart, A Number Drunk Enough to Say I Love You, as well as the very controversial and pretty recent 7 Jewish Children, which I'm dying to read or see at some point. But back to Love and Information. It's interesting because a lot of times when I talk about a play, I want to talk about the plot. However, Love and Information doesn't really employ plot in a traditional sense, which again is why Carol Churchill is considered to be a very postmodern type of playwright. There's no through line to this story. Like I said, it is a collection of scenes, 57 to be exact, and they seem that they are put together to explore the theme that Churchill is exploring with the play. Characters. There are around 100 characters in this play, however, none of them have a name. And I really felt as I was reading this that the characters are, in a sense, more of tools that she uses to explore the themes and the ideas that she deals with in the play. I think for this reason, I wasn't as drawn into this play. it was a little difficult for me to read because I tend to be very drawn to a journey that a character is going on, and I think that it has to just do with being an actor. I would be interested to see what it's like to be an audience member to this piece, if maybe just identifying with the themes, which are very strong, kind of overrides that general need to have a character that you're identifying with. I'm not sure. But from reading it, it was a little bit of a struggle to not have a Marlene to follow along with. Just a little bit more about those characters. I would say that I'd want to reserve judgment for seeing this play and seeing it performed. I think one of the reviews I read talked about how it's a play that needs very strong actors, and I see that, and I think that if strong actors were employed in these roles, that perhaps the fact that there's not an actual developed character might not bother me so much. All right, theme, because this play is very thematic. The play cover, which I wanted to reference again, it had this to say about the play. It says it's a fast-moving kaleidoscope of more than 100 characters who try to make sense out of what they know. And I definitely felt that as I read the play. You know, what are we experiencing? What of that experience is emotional? What of that experience is spiritual? And, you know, at the end of the day, isn't it just a bunch of information? The Guardian had this to say about the theme. They noted that Carol Churchill is writing about a world where information bombardment is a danger of leading to atrophy of memory, erosion of privacy, and the decay of feeling. The same Guardian reviewer also went on to say that they detected in Churchill a deep sense of political and personal unease about a society in which speed of connection replaces human connection. This is manifested in scenes showing that we don't always know how to cope with all the information that is available. I definitely saw that in one of the scenes. One of the characters is trying to remember how she actually saw her house as a child, and how, you know, the things that she's heard from other people or the pictures that she saw that other people took kind of messes with her own memory of what that house was to her emotionally and experientially, other than just in general information kind of way. I don't know if that made any sense what I just said. I did have quite a few final thoughts. Final thoughts on this play. I can't say, as I mentioned, that I enjoyed this read, even though I am completely and utterly taken in by the theme. It was one of those things where I thought about the theme on at least 2 of my bus rides, just really kind of like, information, you know, it seems like such a great thing, but how is it messing with our humanity? I love how the play explores that idea. And I love how it explores organic versus technical, and the pros and cons of both. I was particularly drawn to the discussion of love being just a byproduct of information gathered. Just that idea that even in attraction, that it's some form of our primal nature, our genes, our genetic code, looking to see, you know, what's the information here that I can exchange with this other set of genetic codes to create a life, to continue on the human race. A very scientific way to look at love, written by a very artistic and creative lady. I would say for you theater teachers out there that this play does provide great scene work for developing the use of beats, and it's also great for character development because there isn't a lot that Churchill gives the actor. You really have to take in the information that she's giving you in the dialogue, and find a way to put that in use in a way that the audience can connect to it. So I would definitely recommend this play script to theater teachers who are maybe teaching the next level after that intro to acting course. This is it. As I mentioned, I really love Carol Churchill. I've enjoyed reading her plays. I've enjoyed being in her plays. I've enjoyed seeing her plays. I don't think that this play and the writing that she does in it is quite, I don't want to say up to par, but I do kind of. I don't know that it's up to par with the things that she's written in the past. I do think that some of the pieces are super profound. There's one in here called Sex, and that's the one that brought up this whole idea of, isn't sex just an exchange of genetic information? And it also, she has a really great scene in the play called Earthquake, and it's this man and this woman, and the man is just talking about the horrificness of what he's learned about the earthquake. And the woman, she just says, oh, I gotta see if I can find this. There it is. The woman, who's also having this discussion about the earthquake, she just says, that black wave with the cars in it was awesome. So just how the visual information we receive kind of desensitizes us to our own emotional reaction to it. There were other scenes in the play, however, that I felt also used her great British wit. There's one called The Child Who Knew No Fear. And you're like reading along, and it's told in this very fable way, oh yeah, you think you know what's going to happen because it's a story about a kid who doesn't have any fear. And then instead of having this like nice, tidy moral wrap up, she's like, and then the kid walked up to a lion and got eaten. Basically, that was the end of that scene. And it made me laugh out loud on the bus again, and people looked at me like I was crazy. That happens. However, for as much as I loved some of those scenes, there was other ones like The Child Who Didn't Know Pain and the one called Virtual that for me personally came across as really simplistic, predictable, and like they were points too often made and too often explored. They did fit into the piece itself. However, I just kind of feel like, wow, Carol Churchill, I think that you do and have done and can do and will do much better than those scenes. So, that is that. Not, I guess just to sum it up, I really enjoyed the theme of the play. I think it was interesting and intelligent. I'm not sure how this would work as a piece of theater, but I would love to take the chance to see it, and I think that you should too. If this play, Love and Information, happens to be coming to a theater near you. So that is all I have for this edition of Playing with Flashcards. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.